Hey, what's going on? This is celebrity health expert Obi here. I want to talk to you about, should you pay attention to someone that has a PhD or a medical degree that's in the fitness industry? It seems people seem to be talking about that quite a bit lately. I'll bring up some examples. This is what I would say is that just because someone has a PhD or a medical degree does not mean that what they say is the gospel. All right. You need to do your own independent research. That doesn't mean that what they say is more credible than what I say or someone else says that doesn't have a PhD or doesn't have a medical degree. All right. I have found through my experience that people that have a PhD and have a medical degree, some of them don't do enough due diligence or scientific research to validate what's coming out of their mouth. And we're in a society right now where when someone has a PhD and they have a medical degree, they got the doctor, the PhD next to their name. We're just supposed to believe what they're saying is true, okay? And not question it or not do your own independent research, which is very dangerous, all right? Because that doesn't mean that what they're saying is 100% correct. And I'll give you some examples. Obviously, the situation with Mike Israetel, right? He has a PhD, I believe, in exercise science. And I saw in the YouTube world, Solomon Nelson found his dissertation online and he dissected that dissertation. That dissertation, with all honesty, respectfully, was a piece of garbage. The dissertation that enabled him to get his PhD. Found that he downloaded it and it was grammatical errors. He didn't cite sources correctly. Tables were wrong. It was horrible. It looked like a dissertation that it looked like it wouldn't pass an second year undergrad research paper in any class. It was horrible. And supposedly this was the dissertation that enabled him to get a PhD. I don't even know how that even got approved. And I think with Mike, him having a PhD, he flexes that too much. And when you start saying that you're smarter than everybody and you got the highest IQ and you're bigger and smarter than everybody and no one should question you, then you're going to open yourself for scrutiny and people are going to try to find holes in you, all right, which is what happened with him. I always say if somebody says that they're the smartest person in the world, they got the highest IQ, you need to run away, all right? Ultimately, whether you have a PhD or not, you should do your own independent research, what comes out of somebody's mouth. With regards to Mike, I really believe the reason why he got kind of taken down is because he comes off so arrogant and cocky, like he's smarter than everybody. And then some of the information that comes out of his mouth, some of it is accurate and some of it is not. So people were just like, wait a minute, you have the highest IQ and you're smarter than anybody? Then Solomon found his dissertation online at the East Tennessee State University, and he dissected it, a 1 hour excellent of execution dissection on that dissertation being a piece of garbage. And of course, that undermines its credibility. But the most important thing from that example is that just to be modest. And even if you've got a PhD or a medical degree, don't think you know everything, because you don't. Nobody does. All right? Nobody does. Nobody has enough time to do continuing education every single day. I'll give you another example. There was a situation where I saw, I believe, Dr. Lyon. She said that if you're sedentary, your body can only dispose 40 grams of carbs per meal. Okay? 40 grams, that's just not true. Your body, the human body doesn't have a 40-gram capacity disposal limit. All right. She said this in a public speaking. I saw it on IG that was posted on social media. And she's putting that out there to the masses. That's just not true. That is pseudoscience garbage. This person is a doctor. All right. I saw something on social media a couple months ago. A cardiologist said, stay away from carbs. These carbs are going to hurt you. It's dangerous. This guy was a cardiologist. He was a doctor. All right. And I'm like, that's not true. That's false. I didn't have to research that. I just knew that was false. There was a situation where I co-hosted a fitness entrepreneur TV show. And we had a fitness entrepreneur. We're talking about EPOC and the afterburn effect. And we had an off-air gentleman who's very well known in the fitness industry. I'm not going to give his name out. He was an off-air consultant on the show. And he was saying that he wanted us, the host on the TV show that aired on Spike TV, wanted us to say that the afterburn effect of anyone that's doing resistance training is about 100 to 200% off of the total calories. So for example, if you're burning 300 calories with weight training, he was saying that you're going to burn an additional 100 to 200% of that total calories. And I was like, that's just not true. That doesn't make any sense. It's about 6 to 15% of total calories as far as the potential EPOC afterburn effect. So I told the executive producer, I said, I can't say that. That's not true. I don't know where he came up with that number. So the executive producer, the showrunner on the show, well, she said, he's a doctor. We have to, he knows he's a doctor. We're supposed to believe what he's saying. What does that mean? What do you mean he's a doctor? That doesn't mean anything, So I had to show her the data to say that this was not correct. And I don't want to bust his name out there because he's a very well-known guy in the fitness industry, fitness and bodybuilding industry, and he's a great guy, and I don't want to embarrass him, but it was incorrect. So what I'm trying to say, it's another examples that people make mistakes, particularly someone that's got a PhD next to their name, whether it's PhD in exercise science or nutritional science, or has a medical degree. They make mistakes. So just because information is coming out of their mouth, don't believe that it is the gospel. Everybody, do your own independent research, even if it's coming from an authoritative source. Whether it's coming from me, Alan Aragon, anyone that's very well credible, do your own independent research, because my experience is found is people that have a medical degree and has a PhD, my experience is that they don't do the extra step to find the scientific research to validate what they're saying. It's like almost like a more of an observational claim as opposed to scientific PubMed research studies, enough studies that validates their claim that they're making. So I've seen a lot of mistakes, okay? And you having a PhD or a medical degree does not make you more smarter than me with regards to the fitness industry and with regards to exercise science and nutrition, And I just want the everyday average person to understand that, because right now you having doctors getting, securing major diet books, and they don't even really study nutrition in medical school. They don't. You can look at the medical school curriculum. So to basically sum this whole thing up is that if someone has a medical degree or their PhD, I would say that tread cautiously. I don't want to disrespect anyone that does, because it takes a tremendous amount of discipline and education and smartness to be able to get to that level. But don't think that what comes out of their mouth is the Bible. Do your own independent research. Do your own independent research when someone is spitting out stuff. Even if it's correct, still do your own independent research, because they make mistakes. In fact, they make mistakes just as much as anybody else. All right? And when someone's saying I have the highest IQ, I'm smarter than everybody, don't question me, you need to question them. All right? You might need to run away. Because when someone that is smart or someone that is intelligent, they don't have to say it. And if someone that has a PhD, they don't have to flex it every time they speak. Doctor this, doctor that, doctor this. All right? People will know when they do their research. People will know. With regards to Mike Israetel, my advice to him would just be humble. Don't act like you're smarter than anybody, because you're not. And if we're going by your dissertation, you're clearly not. Be humble and know that you don't know everything, and we all can learn from each other. I think that's the best thing. Always stay humble, because when you come off arrogant and cocky, people are going to try to find holes in what you're saying, and they're going to try to dig deep in your supposed educational background if you're flexing that PhD or medical degree, and they're going to say, what school did you go to? Who approved this degree? You know what I mean? And that's what happened with him, and he got taken down. I hope that answers the question. Please, everyone, do your own independent research when it comes to nutrition, anything. But when it comes to the fitness industry, diet, exercise science, do your own independent research And don't automatically believe the information because someone has a medical degree or a PhD, because they make mistakes just like anybody else. In fact, many of them make even more mistakes, because they know that when they push out information that comes out of their mouth, they know that people are going to believe them. And it doesn't encourage them to do their own independent research and do their own due diligence before they put it out there. We all should do that. You know what I mean? So we're helping everybody out. We're not putting pseudoscience garbage, and we're not putting out information that would be equivalent to some influencer that's not even an expert. Hope that clears that up. Hope everybody enjoys that. Do your own independent research. If the person's got a PhD, medical degree, or anything, it's going to be safer that way, and you're going to be able to learn more, and you're going to be able to it's going to confirm you not going the wrong direction because you got information from somebody that didn't do their own due diligence as they should. Hope that helps you. Take care.